now. Okay, that's why in the deductive method of presentation, you have to be firm with your decision. What would be your topic sentence or your thesis statement? Because this topic sentence or simply this thesis statement is the author or the writer's opinion, okay, prejudice, philosophy, insight, disposition, idea, or simply opinion about something. And from that topic sentence as the root of everything, no, it has to cover, okay, it has to cover an idea which need to be developed through the use of supporting details. So normally, topic sentence, especially in a deductive method, can be found at the beginning or somewhere at the beginning of the paragraph. Okay, so I mentioned in the beginning because you can put this topic sentence, it's on keeping wild animals in zoo and removing them from their natural habitat, no, is in any way cruel. It can be put literally at the beginning before the first sentence, bago po tong sentence na yan. Pwedeng dyan ilagay itong topic sentence. Or just somewhere in the middle, I mean, somewhere at the beginning of the paragraph. Kaya nga po nandito si topic sentence. Okay? But again, as I mentioned earlier, no, not all topic sentence can be found within the paragraph because some of them are actually implied. Okay? Meaning to say, you will be the one to provide for that. Okay? And then we have here the supporting details. Looking at our supporting details, you have to remind yourself that when you want to discuss something further and you'd like consistency in your discussion, you can use a lot as well of techniques, no, to do that. But the most common one is to keep on track of using keywords or words that are related with your topic sentence. So looking at our topic sentence, what could be the controlling idea? Diba? I mentioned earlier when we see controlling idea, it could be a phrase or a word within the topic sentence or thesis statement. So what is the point of the writer or author here with his or her topic sentence or thesis statement? Sabi niya, keeping wild animals in zoo and removing them from their natural habitat is anyway cruel. So what actually here is the verdict? No? Well, definitely, it is the cruelty. No? The cruelty that is somehow practiced, the cruelty that is done, the cruelty that is bestowed, the cruelty that is experienced by animals. Why are they experiencing such cruelty? Well, because of the very thought that they are being kept and they are being taken away from their home. Okay? So it could mean that keeping wild animals, okay, is cruel, or removing them from their natural habitat is actually cruel. So at the end of the day, it still fall around cruelty. Okay? So that could be our controlling idea, okay, or keyword there. Now, if we'd like to develop this topic sentence into something that could help the reader understand the point of the author or writer, why is it cruel? Bakit masama? Bakit kahindik-hindik? Bakit nakakakilabot? Diba? Bakit naging masama yung paglalagay ng hayop sa zoo tsaka pag-alis sa kanila sa mga gubat, sa kanilang natural na tahanan? Well, you have to justify your point, especially this is a persuasive text. So with the succeeding sentences, there should be a keywords that you can relate back to your topic sentence. That's why I highlighted some keywords here. Okay, so for our first sentence of the supporting details, animals forced to stay in an enclosures or artificial environment is inhumane. So the term inhumane here is synonymous with the term cruel. So both of them. So it's more like inhumane still connecting with the idea of cruelty. However, for the phrase forced to stay, forcing. So it's more like keeping them, no, without their permission, without their concern, without their what you call this one, permission, or without their I forget the term that I'm going to say. Okay, so maybe just permission for this time. No, without their permission or consent. Yeah, that's the term. Okay, and then second one, such unethical practice. Unethical. So which is this practice that is unethical? Okay, so there are actually two things that are mentioned or that can be referred as unethical. So first would be definitely keeping them, by force. And then the second one would be literally, okay, removing them, okay, or ditching them, from their natural habitat. So that could be an ethical practice. So which shows human savagery. So still, this human savagery has something to do with the term inhumane, and of course, going back to our topic sentence, which is cruel. Okay? And against the philosophy of preservation of life. Okay? So you might be wondering, so yung preservation of life, hindi naman siya in one way or another related kay topic sentence. Okay? But you'll see, well, since this is a one sentence, and we already have the unethical and human savagery, so still the sentence is still related with our topic sentence. But why is preservation of life, okay, highlighted? So let's read more on the sentences. Because of such harassment to the animals, so we have again here the term harassment, which could refer to keeping wild animals or removing them, those held in captivity are proven to have their lifespan shortened and experience zoochosis. So this term, this phrase, lifespan shortened, is related with against preservation of life. Okay? FYI, when the animal is removed from their natural habitat, because that very act is actually hindering them, or impeding them from achieving their full potential. Sabi nga ni Aristotle, in the aesthetic, something is only considered beautiful if it can achieve its arete and telos. So if it can achieve its function, or if it can do its function and reach its potential. And when the thing, so maybe say anything, that exists in this world, okay, achieve that arate and telos, then they are in any way beautiful. So that term beautiful should not be taken literally, since it has something to do with aesthetics, the philosophy of beauty. So for this one, if the animal, okay, can no longer stay in their natural habitat, then automatically you are taking away, sabi nga nila, half of the animal's life. Parang nagmay-ari ka lang ng death note, which automatically reduces your lifespan. Ganun yung nangyayari sa mga animals. That's why the author or the writer here is definitely pointing that it is cruel for those animals to just stay in a man-made place or man-made habitat, rather than letting them stay in a world where they should be. Okay? And then at this part, it mentioned the term zoochosis. So the reason why I didn't highlight the following sentences, okay, up until to this one, vomiting, because it has something to do with the term zoochosis, okay, which may not be as direct, as the others, related with the topic sentence, because this one is just a clarification of a newly introduced idea, which is the psychosis. So as a writer, since I introduce a jargon, okay, a term here, a new term here, which I know most of the reader is not familiar, it is my responsibility, I am obliged to explain what psychosis is. That's why on the succeeding sentences, it it explains what psychosis is. And definitely it gives its definition. Remember, in the definition, we have to consider three things. First is the term, second is the genus or the category, and then third is the differentia or the distinct characteristics. So psychosis will be our term. Okay? We have here the article. Ito po yung parang naglilink sa kanila. Okay? A stereotypical behavior of animals in captivity. So this will be our genus. This is the general category. And of course, we have here another linking word. Though this is not a linking verb, what I'm saying is a linking word. Okay? So which shows repetitive invariant behavior. This is now our differentia. So psychosis is properly defined. No, as exemplification, meaning to say, as an example of example, kasi po, psychosis is already an example of human cruelty. Now, I'd like to give emphasis on the example of my example. So, kaya po nagiging exemplification na siya. Okay, so example of psychosis are the following behaviors. Okay, so in a paragraph, in order for us to achieve its unity, everything should be connected in one way or another, It should be connected with our thesis statement or topic sentence. But there may be time that some supporting details may not be directly connected to topic sentence, provided that these supporting details are still related with the other supporting details. Okay? So, we'll just go back to our topic sentence. These states of animals would have not manifested only if they have stayed, okay, in wilderness. So, okay, it's more like going back to shortening of lifespan and experiencing psychosis. Kaya bumalik tayo dito. So, dapat siguro highlight ko siya as green one. Okay? So, that's supporting details. And then after that, we will have the clinching sentence. So, clinching sentence can be present or not in a text. Okay? Because clinching sentence serves as the twin or representation of topic sentence at the ending part of the paragraph or text. To put it simply, we normally call it conclusion. But clinching sentence can function two. I mean, it has two functions. One is to restate the topic sentence, and the second one is to just actually summarize whatever is in the whole text. So, looking at our clinching sentence, pag tingnan nyo po yung clinching sentence, this is the exact repetition of the topic sentence. Bakit siya naging exact repetition? Tingnan natin isa-isa. First is terrible. So, it is terrible. So, this one, it is cruel. Tingnan natin yung palitan nila ng idea, or yung reflection nila ng idea. To take away animals from their natural home. So, yung to take away na yan is just removing them from their natural habitat. Okay, and then, let them stay in a man-made menagerie, keeping wild animals in zoo. Okay? Although in this part, it strongly compares zoo to menagerie. Technically, when we say menagerie, it's a place where animals are intentionally kept or held captive for them to be trained for the purpose of entertainment. In short, ito po yung mga circus. Kung saan yung mga animals po talaga, nagpa-perform sila, they are held there, they do not know kung anong ginagawa sa kanila, but then they are taught of a lot of things that they should not. They are not anymore acting like an animals. They are being controlled. They are being manipulated to be someone or to be something that they are not really. So that's why it's really cruel, no? In your case, would you like somebody to actually manipulate you or control you into doing something that you should not, or that you ought not to perform or to do? It's the same thing if you're going to apply it to us. Okay, so that's why for the author or writer, it is really cruel. So in this juncture, deductive method would always start with the main idea or the main concept, and then to justify it, it will provide a lot or a series of details, examples, instances, scenarios. Okay, so with that, let's now try to connect it with our activity earlier. So just keep in mind, pag sinabi natin deductive method, we are being direct with our idea. So right away, we try to tell it to our reader, or we try to directly give it to our reader. Now, before explaining what it really is. Okay? So let's just go back to the scenes that we have earlier. Now, what scene do you think is an example of deductive method? So ano kaya sa mga eksena kanina yung example deductive method? So you may cast your answer in our chat box, no? I will only give you 5 seconds to answer. Okay? So lahat po ng makakapag-answer ng tama, makakapagbigay ng tamang number, will be considered recitation. Okay? So we have 6 scenes here. Which one do you think is the representation of deductive method? Is it scene 6? Is it scene 5? Is it scene 4? Is it scene 3? Is it scene 2? Is it scene 1? No need for you to explain, ha? You'll just have to put your answer on our chat box. Okay? So, among the 6 scenes, which do you think is the representation of deductive method? In 5 seconds, kindly cast your answer in our chat box. Ready? Go! Just put the number or just write the number. 1, 2, I'm not seeing anything yet. 3, 2, and okay. So the last one to answer is Rosaline. Okay. So last one to answer is Rosaline. Let's see. Okay. Which scene represents deductive method? So the correct answer is scene 2. So tingnan natin sino nakatama. So we have Dano, Zamora. Mondigo, ha, please take note of the name. Sila po yung may mga recitation point since tama yung answer nila. Dano, Zamora. Yeah, Dano and Zamora only. So bakit po siya naging scene 2? Well, definitely, di ba, sa scene na yan, ayan, sinabi niya na kagad, what is the point of the conversation I asked you earlier? So the point of conversation is to tell the mother directly that she has planned, no, on going to the party or debut of her classmates. So sabi niya, Mama, pupunta po ako sa debut ni Marisa mamaya. So that's the point. Okay? And then by giving her further idea about it, siya po yung top 1 sa klase namin. So pwede nga din siya nag-add sana ng information like mamayang alas 3, mamayang alas 7 ng gabi, something like that. Okay? So to put it simply, deductive method is the direct, the immediate and direct conveying of your thesis statement or topic sentence. Okay? Now, let's go to the next example. So, this is called inductive method. Now, what do you think is the difference between deductive yung kanina, and then our inductive method. Ano kaya ang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa? Anyone? Does anyone have an idea of the difference between the two? Meron po ba? Or wala? You know what? In reality, what I normally want is to do an inductive method, especially in the activity that we had in the past, in the last 2 meetings. When we apply deductive and inductive method in teaching and learning, it's more like this. Deductive method refers to spoon feeding. So, katulad ng normal na ginagawa. Okay, class, today we're going to have this lesson. Or, for example, noun in English, no? Today we're going to discuss parts of the speech. As we all know, there are 8 parts of the speech. Okay? The most common one, which will be the noun, the pronoun, and then the others, okay, are verb, adverb, adjective, okay, something like that. And I want to give emphasis on what noun is. So noun refers to a name of person, place, idea, blah, blah, blah. As an example of name of person, okay, your name, my name, the name of your mother, the name of the President of the Philippines, the name of the heroes, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So something like that. Deductive is spoon feeding. It's more like you do not give your reader or your learner the chance to actually think for themselves. That's deductive method. Okay? Because maybe you'd like to manipulate, you'd like to monopolize, no, to dominate the discussion. You'd only like to be the someone to provide things that these people should absorb. However, in the inductive method, we try to prolong the learning. We try to prolong the revelation about something because our intention is for that person to think for himself, for that person to somehow realize and analyze something. So that as he or she goes on through this analysis, he or she will discover things that may not be present in the spoon-feeding activity. So, na-exercise din yung utak. But inductive method is idealistic. Okay? Because most of us, no, are actually tired of thinking before the actual thinking process. Okay? Meaning to say, we only think when we when we are already in the situation where we have to. But before that scenario, we somehow, in a way, is not that fond of thinking things. No, we do not want to complicate things. We do not want to think of other things aside from the thing that we have to think in that when we approach already the situation. So that's why in the inductive method is kind of hard to implement. No, but maybe in your case, especially in your hands-on, inductive method, both deductive and inductive method can be applied well. So when you are told to create a character, okay, that manifests the qualities of those in fairy tales, of those in literary works. So you have to think on your own, you have to think, or you have to use your background knowledge. What are the stories that you have in your mind? And then after that, now you'll scribble, no, you'll draft your own character. So the only controlling idea there is for you to create a character that manifests the qualities of those characters, maybe in specific literary work or genre. So that would be inductive method kasi you will be the one to provide your own character. Unlike when your instructor say, I'd like you to create a character like this, like that, blah, 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 blah. So there are a lot of standards. And then from that, you have to follow exactly what is given to you. So nagiging deductive siya. Unlike in inductive that you'll have to do it on your own first. The discovery learning is there. Learning by doing is there. And then after, until such time that you realize that what you are doing is something for your benefit and something for you to develop your own potential or maybe to improve your own potential. So in writing, when we use inductive method for the writer or author, it's like giving the reader sufficient time to prepare for what is more important, no, within the paragraph or the text. So it's like giving the author or writer normally starts with giving off instances, examples, or supporting details until he or she reaches the point of revealing of what really is the purpose of the text or the paragraph. So just like in this case, now the topic sentence is given at the end of the writing. So note that the clinching sentence is removed, yung blue kanina, because clinching sentence is just a representation of topic sentence. But since topic sentence is located at the end, or your topic sentence in the inductive method can be found at the end, literally sa pinakahuli, or somewhere at the end. Pwedeng nandito sa unahan ng last paragraph, pwedeng nasa gitna ng last paragraph, at pwede rin namang nasa dulo talaga. Okay? So when the topic sentence is introduced through inductive method, we normally remove the clinching sentence. Okay? So I hope nakikita po yung difference. Now, among the scenarios that we have earlier, which one do you think is the representation of inductive method? Is it scene 6? Is it scene 5? Is it scene 4? Is it scene 3? Or scene 1? Okay, so on your mark, kindly cast your answer in our chat box, just the number. So ready, go. Cast your answer. Let's see if you can distinguish, no, the similarity of, so we only have 2 answers coming from Zamora and Dano. So I'll be counting now 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so the last one to answer is actually Pena. So let's see what is the correct answer. So the correct answer is, all right, very good. Scene 1 po, scene 1. So Pena, Season, Rosalyn, Galicia, Plaida, Bulaong, Ginto, Cordobes, Mondigo, Espiloy, and Zamora. Okay, got all the correct answers. So scene 1 po. Diba, it was mentioned in the conversation, Mama, ilang birthdayhan na kaya yung napuntahan ko? So the point there is enumerating birthday parties that the daughter were able to attend. No? And then, after mentioning all those, sa kanya nirelate, kasi pupunta rin po ako sa birthday part, sa debut, or sa debut ni Marisa mamaya. Okay? So, that's how we do the inductive method. So, kunyari, if I'm going to use the same example as before, yung sa noun, now the teacher would do this. Alright, children, I'd like you to name the things, everything that you see. Can you just give at least 3 names of the things that you perceive or that you see in our surrounding? Okay, so they would say teacher, table, classmates, classroom, chair, chalk, ball pen, pencil, something like that. Okay, So they're the one giving the example. Okay, so can you categorize or can you group the names of those things that you see that have maybe that are similar with one another? So maybe the students will have to think of that category or that set, how would they group them until such time that they arrive at teacher and classmates, no? Or teacher, classmates, boy. Could be notebook, pencil, paper. And then classroom, school, something like that. So with those examples, okay, so teacher, students, and boy or girls, okay, are names which pertain to what we call noun. Okay, just the same, the pencil, the paper are what we call noun as well. So in short, what is noun as a part of the speech? Okay, so maybe the student could also arrive, but sometimes in inductive method, or most of the time, it needs a lot of questioning in order for you to arrive at a certain answer. So there will be a lot of series of questioning until such time that these students may answer that this category or this set are pertaining to just names. So therefore, noun is a name of maybe of a person, of things, no, of place, something like that. So in inductive method, we try to extract answer. We try to extract discovery and realization from the things that we initially do. Just the same po for the inductive writing. We try to extract the idea from the given supporting details before arriving at the thesis statement or the topic sentence. Okay, so next scene. Okay, so for this one, it's more of introducing and giving power to our topic sentence. So there are a lot of ways for us to manifest how a topic sentence or thesis statement can be curated in a way that it can really convince the reader, no? So in this time, I use specific, okay, information that is maybe proven based on some studies. So to give emphasis on how cruel, no, keeping and removing wild animals, okay, or I cited this specific information, no, from the World Association of Zoo and Aquarium. So according to its study, okay, estimated 75% of animals held in captivity are being abused. So with that whooping 75%, if we're going to just convert it into a usual number, 7 or 8 out of 10 animals, meaning to say, are abused, maltreated, or not properly taken care of. And for me, I think that is beyond the normal number. And since that is beyond the normal number, therefore, it is cruel. No, that's the point there. So you can introduce your topic sentence by somehow providing or citing some information that is based from science or based from statistics. So in this case, I try to separate the statistics and the topic sentence. This one. But in the second sample, I tried to combine the two. But I only edited something. So I added alarming to give more power on the cruelty. So since this is a persuasive text, I have every right to, of course, to convince my reader by providing words that could influence their mindset. Kaya nga po, I am trying to condition your mind. Tawag dito po mga mind conditioning terms to. So 75% maybe for others, it's just a number, but number could actually say something about it. And it's really alarming kasi nga 7 or 8 out of 10. So if 7 or 8 out of 10 animals are being abused, what will happen? No, so sooner or later they will perish. And it defeats the purpose of keeping them on the zoo. Kasi bakit nga ba sila kinikip? Sabi nga sa unang part, it's because of, well, protection. So are they protected? Really? 75% are abused? Napoprotektahan ba sila nun? So something like that. Okay? So among our scenarios that we had, which one do you think represent this kind of style? Is it scene 6? So we're using some statistics. Is it scene 5? Is it scene 4? Is it scene 3? Is it scene 2? Hanggang scene 3 na lang. Scene 3, scene 4, scene 5, or scene 6. Okay? So kindly cast your answer in our chat box. Ready? Go. Okay, let me see which one do you think represents. By the way, when we are using some statistics, we are using hedging words or yung mga hedging phrase. No? We do not give the exact number. So, sasabihin lang natin like, minority of the group or majority of the group, okay? There is a big number of students who will vote for Lenny. However, there are plenty, okay, of voters who will vote for Bongbong Marcos. We do not give the exact numbers like, okay, so 2 million students will vote for Lenny. On the other hand, 5 million adults are going to vote for Bongbong. So we do not give exact number. When we use hedging word, we try to condition or we try to present something without being exact about it, especially when we talk about statistics. Okay? So let's see. What is the correct answer? So the correct answer is very good. Okay? Number 4. So the last one to answer is Spiloy. So tingnan natin kung sino nakatama. Okay? So I think lahat naman po ay nakatama. Okay? Tama yung answer na. Very good po. Okay? Next. Style. Okay? So we have here rhetorical question. Okay? So actually in oral communication, part of an effective speaking is to exhibit rhetorics. So what do we mean by rhetorics? We have to go back to the concept provided by Aristotle. So rhetorics is the art of speaking effectively, or it is the art of persuading someone, convincing someone, of course, through the use of language. But this rhetoric should exhibit 3 elements. And Aristotle called it as the triangular elements of rhetorics. So one should have the ethos, exhibit ethos, logos, and pathos. So ethos, which is ethics in English, okay, refers to the personality, the background of the speaker. So is the speaker has enough eligibility, okay, or is the speaker has this good background, academic status, so social background that makes him or her a fitting speaker for the topic. That's ethos. And then we have the pathos or the empathy, the sympathy. Is the speaker someone who can relate with the audience? Is the speaker someone who is concerned with the feelings, okay, or the emotion of the audience? Is the speaker someone who can connect with the audience personally? That's pathos, or the sympathy, or the empathy. And then we have the logos, or the logic. Is the speaker can convey his or her idea logically with reason, can justify it with information and those things that can be verified, by facts. So something like that. Now, rhetorical question in writing is something that should not be answered, or it's something that should not be answered in just one with just one answer. In short, rhetorical question can only be answered successfully if you are able to justify what your answer is. No, rhetorical questions should not select one and only answer, because the correct answer for a rhetorical question depends on how you answer it. So the question is keeping wild animals in zoo and removing them from their natural habitat in any way cruel? So definitely, since the author or writer here thinks that it is cruel, okay, the writer gives emphasis on the instances where cruelty is applied. On the other hand, if I will be someone to answer this, no, in a different vantage point, no, I would differ. I would disagree. No, it's not. It's not cruel at all. Actually, zoo is good. Let me give you an example. Okay? So something like that. You'll just have to answer rhetorical question in a way that you can justify it. No? Because again, what the rhetorical question is after is how you explain things. No? Based on ethics, based on logic, and maybe based on empathy. Okay? So, among our scenario, by the way, pwede po siyang nasa somewhere in the beginning of the paragraph or literally at the beginning of the paragraph. So, what scene from the following do you think is the representation of rhetorical question? Is it scene 6? Scene 5? Scene 3? So, pili lang. Scene 3 po ba siya? Scene 5 or scene 6? Okay? So, let's do it. Kindly cast your answer now. Ready? Go. Okay, in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see. Okay? So, yung iba may nag-answer ng 3, may iba nag-answer ng 5. Okay, so we start from Riabal, no? Tingnan natin kung ano yung tamang answer. Okay, so the correct answer is, alright, scene 3. So, that is actually, scene 3 po yung tamang answer. Siguro yung iba nalito lang, kasi sa scene 5 din, nagtanong din yung bata. Okay? But, let's see, that question is not actually meant to be answered directly, no? Yung sa isa pong question. So, siguro later makita natin yung difference niya. Okay? So, we have here another sample. So, instead of providing series of, mga scientific-based information, so we also try to use, the citation. We also apply this one in research, especially when you are applying reference, in-text citation. So we have to quote something. But since this is not a research paper and I do not want to make it more like a research one, pero pwede rin naman natin siyang gawing ganon. Like, sabihin natin, if this is based on the book, kaso hindi ko siya mabago din dahil naka-Adobe siya, naka-PDF siya. No? Pwede pong at the end po nitong word na eyes, ito sa end po niyan, maglalagay tayo dyan ng citation. Like, kung sinabi po yan ni you lofting, ang ilalagay lang natin dyan, since this is a quoted part, magiging ganito lang po siya. Sige, sa ano ko na lang itatype. Sa chat box. If we want to look this sentence more like, nagdikit-dikit na siya. Okay? Anyway, gets naman ninyo kung ano yung nakalagay dyan. It would look like this po. So, sabihin natin, 2022, okay, page 54. So, magiging ganito po yung itsura niya. Kung gusto natin siya maging scholarly-like. Okay? Although, hindi po naman natin siya dapat ilagay magkasama yung year, at saka yung page. Kasi normally, dapat ang magkatabi si author at saka si page. So, siguro it will look like this. So, remove natin si year. Only page, will only have page 54. Kunyari kung doon siya sa book galing. Okay? And then yung 2022, itatabi natin siya kay You Lofting. Although, sa citation po, hindi natin sinasama ang buong pangalan. Sinasama lang natin yung apelyido. No, we do not use the first name, rather only the surname. Okay? So, if we'd like to give more conviction to our words, no, by citing a person, he could be a well-known person, okay, we have to use some statement given directly by that person, no? So that we will have this idea na, oh, I am not the only one who thinks this way. There are also people who think the same thing. And since they are more popular, there are way, no, more famous than I am, maybe I can cite them to help me back up my idea. So, yun po yung point ng ating quotation. So, pwede pong the quotation can appear before the topic sentence or it may appear after the topic sentence. Okay? So, now, which do you think among the scene, no, is an example of this one? Anong scene kaya? Oh my God, ano natin. So, anong scene po kaya yung sample niya? Is it scene number 6 or scene number 5? 5 or 6? So, last chance to answer. Is it scene 5 or scene 6? Alright, so I think the Nabar is last one to answer. And then may humahabol pa. Meron pang ibang mga humahabol. Alright, so let's just make this one quick na lang since i-explain ko pa yung performance task ninyo. Okay. So we have here, last one to answer. Sino nga yun? Ay, naku, bagal ng laptop, ng desktop. Go, and the correct one is, alright, very good. Scene 6. Kasi nga po, we use quotation. In the case of the daughter, sabi niya, Mama, pinapasabi po ng mama ni Marisa, ayun na yung may quoted part, Mare, papuntahin mo ang anak mo sa birthday ni Marisa mamaya. Okay? So instead of directly saying your idea about it, no, you try to quote someone. Because quoting someone may mean that both of you share the same idea. It so happened that the words of the person you cited can give or can be more convincing than you are. Kaya po tayo nagko-quote minsan. And of course, here we have the last one. Okay? This is an introduction that is extracted from your personal experience. So it's like being nostalgic, no? You try to narrate a short skit or a short scene from your past, okay, from your experience, or maybe you try to say something, no, a scene or an idea that can happen in the future. Pwede rin po yun. Pwede rin sa past, pwedeng sa future. No, as long as it talks about personal experience. Syempre, when we talk about experience from the past, then definitely that is part of reality because it already happened. But when you refer to something that could happen in the future, hypothetical pa lang po yun. Now, there is a possibility of it happening. Kaya yung iba, normally they would use what if ganito, ganyan, what if, blah, blah, blah. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. So they use such phrases, no, to transfer us to a different dimension or timeline. So in this case, siguro I actually injected part of my experience, no? When I was in Cambodia. So I had my tri-country visit no 2018 sa Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. So nag-visit kami doon for 8 days. And I personally witnessed know how some animals, siguro it's only in my perception. I do not know how really these animals feel about it. Pero kasi for us, it's kind of, ano ba? I could not say infuriating, but I was saddened, no, to see some animals being forced to really do, no, the things that for me they are only conditioned to perform. Kasi in-electrify yung elephant, no, may inaano sila. Ano ba yun? Yung parang nakaka-ground na something. Parang gina-ground ng very light yung elephant so that the elephant would follow the facilitator or the instructor, no? Actually, kahit naman sa atin, normally we do that eh. Yung mga farmer, di ba? They would put rope doon sa ilong ng kalabaw or ng baka. Those cows and carabaos do not just follow though some are already used to it. No, hindi naman sila sumusunod just because they want to, but because they are hurt. Syempre, nasasanggi yung ilong nila, kaya malamang susunod sila just for them to lessen the pain. No? Not because they follow, it means that they want to. There is a different reason to that. No? Maybe they are afraid, they are scared, or whatever. Something like that. So, in this case, I injected my personal experience, no, to this one. Why it becomes cruel for animal to just stay there, to do some exhibition and the like. Okay? And of course, with our example before, with the scenes that we had, ito po yung pinaka-example niya. It's scene 5. Ito po yung question. Dito nalito yung iba kanina. Akala nila rhetorical question. So this one, Mama, dati po ba pumupunta ka rin ng debut ng kaklase mo? So of course, it's like going into a flashback. So syempre, since the daughter asked the mother during her childhood days if her mother would, if the mother were permitted before to go to a party, so syempre, the mother answered positively, then that is a cue for the child to use such experience for, maybe for the daughter to relate it, no, with her intention, na parang, oh, nung bata ka, pinapayagan ka pala. Siguro naman, baka naman, ako, pwede rin. Something like that. Okay? So, I hope everybody, no, was able to get the reason why we try to use different method of presenting our topic sentence. Okay? So, I have here, mag-extend lang tayo ng konti ha, kasi late din ako start kanina. And I know it's my fault, no? May apology to that. Okay. So, for the clinching sentence, ito po. So, earlier, I mentioned that clinching sentence can be represented in two ways. One is the directly statement or the direct reflection of the first of the topic sentence. Yung kanina po, we try to substitute a term or a phrase to our topic sentence para hindi siya halata. Both of them express the same idea, si topic sentence and si clinching sentence. But we have to make them look different, no? In terms of course, language. In terms of the physicality of the sentence. So, yung terrible, yung cruel, ginawa natin terrible. Yung removing, ginawa natin taking away. Okay? Yung keeping, ginawa nating letting them stay. And then yung zoo, ginawa nating menagerie or menagerie. Okay? And then we have here another clinching sentence to summarize. So in summarizing, you do not have to express everything in details. Kaya nga siya summary eh. You just have to give 1 or 2 sentences to that. So in this case, no, we try to put everything in just 2 description. One is captive animals live fleetingly. Ibig sabihin, umiikli yung buhay nila. So that has something to do with lifespan being shortened and suffer unimaginable condition. So everything that is discussed here, especially sa zoocosis, okay, are conditions that one cannot imagine. Not unless you witness it happening to these animals, no, with your naked eyes. So that's how we do clinching sentence. Okay, and then we have the coherence. So if unity has something to do with series of sentences interconnected with each other, coherence is a presentation of these sentences in a manner that it can be easily, okay, understood by the reader. So, arrangement naman po ang tinitingnan natin. Kasi sa unity, connection ang tinitingnan. In the coherence, it's the arrangement. So, we have three different arrangement. One is the chronological, which I know, self-explanatory, alam nyo na po to. It's part of the process and narration pattern. So, we are after with time expression. Okay, time expression and process expression. So, alam na po natin yan. Next, space order. Remember doon sa description, if you browse the learning material I provided. So, description can be literally lang description, and then the other one can be spatial. So, spatial refers to the ability to perceive space, direction, and location. So, ayun po. Normally, we also explain things using that. And then, we have the deductive and inductive method. Actually, si deductive tsaka si inductive method po talaga, part po siya ng coherence. But then, I'd like deductive and inductive method be introduced in different field. So, that's why, in the unity earlier, I presented how deductive is used in presenting the topic sentence. So, si topic sentence, no, is presented at the beginning, followed by supporting details. Whereas the inductive method, it used to present first the supporting details, and then at the later part, saka lumitaw si topic sentence. Okay? So, that's it. So, hopefully, everybody is able to get the point of today's lesson, no? Kasi po, I'd like, of course, all of you to have your second performance task by next week. So, wag po muna umalis kasi nga, explain ko na kung ano yung performance task nyo. And of course, this will be done by group. And just like your activity, no, previously, this performance task constitute two of your grades. One as an individual, and then the other one as a group. Okay? So, kindly access lang. Ay, yan ba ito? Bakit dala-dalawa? Wait nga. Ay, naku, ang bagal talaga. Wait lang po ah. Sobrang bagal niya. For a while, it's loading. Ay, naku, ang tagal. Okay, so I'd like everybody to access the link. No? Nakainis naman itong ano. Ayaw na mag-present. For a while. Wait nga. I'll try to share my screen. Okay, so yeah, I am actually presenting through my... Am I heard? Narinig po ba ako?
Yes po, ma'am.
Alright. So, I am presenting through my phone, no? Kasi ayaw nag-gumaya ng desktop ko. Nakaka-bad trip. Okay. So, here, siguro naman nandun na kayo sa link. Okay. So, you will have your activity by next week. Now, by providing, kasi since this is reading and writing, every lesson, I'd like to check if you are really able to somehow apply the learning that we have in our lesson. So, I'd like to be practical about it. Hindi lang sa major ninyo. So, it contains here, I think, 8 slides. 8 ba? Yeah. I think 8 slides. So, this will serve as your template. Please, wala pong magbubura ng slides ko. Kasi po, template po yan for everyone. Okay? Kasi may iba, siguro, because of their gadget or whatever, unintentionally nabubura nila or nababago nila. But please, please do not remove. Kasi po, when something is removed here, here, your classmates or the other groups will be affected. Malilito na po sila. Kaya nga may specific number of slide there. No, I provided. Okay. So for slide number 1, so this is where you're going to put your group number and then yung members of the group. And then on the second slide, okay, you have to look for a paragraph that is related, no, to your course. So if you are an animation course, then you have to look for a paragraph that revolves around anything related with animation. Okay? And then for the third slide, original paragraph yung ilalagay nyo dyan, ha? Okay. Now for the third slide, no, this is kind of crucial. Okay, why is it crucial? Because just like what I presented in the deductive method, No, if you need to do some modification, katulad ng ginawa ko dun sa original na paragraph, 'di ba sabi ko yung paragraph about zoo, ano siya, adapted siya dun sa gawa ng isa sa mga estudyante ko. But since kulang yung gawa niya, I edited it. Binago ko siya into something na fitting para sa lesson natin. So you have to do the same thing. If ever, the original paragraph that you used for your presentation lacks some part. Ibig sabihin may kulang. Kunyari, may kulang siya sa clinching sentence. Kunyari, may kulang siya sa supporting details. Pwede kayo magdagdag doon. Tapos kapag wala siyang clinching sentence, alam niyo naman yung clinching sentence, di ba? Dalawa lang yon. Pwede siyang restatement ni topic sentence or pwede siyang summary ng buo. Pero yung summary na yon dapat 1 or 2 sentences lang siya. Okay? So ngayon, kapag wala siyang clinching sentence, you have to create one. Gagawa kayo ng clinching sentence. So kaya siya crucial kasi when you edit something, you make it better. Ginagawa nyo siyang mas maganda. Not the other way around. Okay? Hindi nyo siya papapangitin. Hindi nyo siya bababuyin. Gagawin nyo, paggagandahin nyo siya. So that's the reason why you edit something. You do not edit something to make it worse. You edit it to improve. Okay? Ganun po. Kaya medyo crucial siya. Gagawin nyo lang yung editing na yon kapag sa tingin nyo may kulang at kailangang dagdagan. Okay? Kaya nga po meron kang original text, yung pinagkunan mong original, tapos yung binago mo. Okay? Next, slide 4. So, from the original paragraph, present the supporting details first. So, dito naman po inductive. Remember sa inductive? In inductive method, we present first the supporting details and before we arrive at the topic sentence at the end. So, ganun din po. I-modify nyo yung gawa ninyo. Katulad lang naman dun sa presentation ko kanina. And then, on the 5th slide, you have to cite some statistical data. Okay? Tapos doon po sa statistical data ninyo, mag-hyperlink po kayo So siguro naman marunong kayo mag-hyperlink. For sure, marunong kayo mag-hyperlink. So actually naman, i-highlight nyo lang po yung part, then right-click, meron naman po nakalagay doon, add URL, tapos kung saan yung website kinuha, okay, yung details na yon, ipipaste nyo lang doon yung URL. Para when that specific information is highlighted by the cursor, na-highlight din po yung pinagkunan niyang website. Just to make sure na existing yung information ninyo. Okay? So all of these are actually in my example. Nandun naman ang po, guide naman kayo. And then slide 6, okay? You have to convert your topic sentence. This is just easy. You have to convert your topic sentence into a question. So, yung declarative sentence will be changed into question form. Okay? And of course, we have the 7th slide. From the original text, wait lang, loading pa, ang tagal. Okay, mag-loading ka na. Tagal niya, hindi pa nagpa-flash. Wait nga, balik natin. Yan. From the original, what happened? Yan. From the original paragraph, modify the first paragraph by citing personal experience. So, di ba, just like what I did, you have to provide an experience from the past or a hypothetical experience that could happen in the future. Pwede po yun. Okay? Yun nga, yung may mga what if, imagine 5 to 10 years from now, what can you blah, 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 blah. Okay? As long as it is related with your topic sentence. And, of course, last one, you have to cite a quoted statement from someone who shared the same idea as your top sentence. Okay? Katulad po in my example, the journey of Dr. Dolittle. So, may sinabi phrase doon or statement, and then the writer or author used that specific quote to give power to his or her thesis statement. Okay? So, question so far. Actually, ang question dito ay, sino ang magiging magkakagrupo? Okay? So, with regards to the topic or to the performance tasks, next week po to ha, next week po to. And I am planning na lahat makapag-present talaga next week, kaya uuntian ko lang yung grupo. Okay, so, again, any question so far? Kasi po, i-groupings ko na kayo.
Wala naman po, ma'am.
Wala naman. Okay, so there are actually 25. So, kung 25 po yung present today, so most likely, edi 5 members per group tayo. Sige, wait lang. Ano nga to? Random, yeah. Random. Yan, random team generator. So, I'm using random team generator para to generate, of course, the groupings, no? Without being subjective. So, 5 groups. Let's see. Ayan. So, ito na po yung magiging magkakagrupo. 5 members per group. Okay? So, siguro forward ko na lang sa ano natin, sa GC, para makita ninyo kung sino yung mga magiging magkakagrupo. Okay? Wait lang po So, actually, we have, Espiloy, Dano, Danabar, Riabal, Daina sa group 1. Group 2, Dilao, Galicia, Concreño, Ginto, Zamora, Group 2. Group 3, Odones, Pena, Borejon, Mondigo, Tayoyo. Group 4, Rosaline, Ejercito, Season, Mirandilla, Bulaong. And then Group 5, Cordobes, Plaida, Puertas, Lazaro, and Maglasang. So, si Ejercito, ano ba si Ejercito? Parang kinik-out ko kanina si Ejercito. Kasi hindi siya nagre-respond. Wala dito si Ejercito. Okay, yung mga absent po, you tell them, no? Although pwede rin naman, sabihin ko na lang din sa GC natin. So, you tell them, kasi po, maximum members ay 5. So, you tell them to create their own group, no? Kasi nga, wala sila, absent naman sila. So, 5 members, maximum po tayo. Okay? So, any concern before I dismiss the class?
Wala naman ako.
Wala na. Alright. Kung may question, you can post it in our GC. Okay, thank you so much. Nag-extend na tayo ng 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. I know nagbe-breakfast pa yung iba dyan and you still have your next class. Pasensya na po. Hindi na mauulit to kasi kanina lang talaga nag-intermittent yung connection. Okay, thank you so much, Steve Jobs. We'll see each other next week. Okay, with your performance task. Okay, bye-bye po.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye po, ma'am. Bye po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Bye po, ma'am.